Hello and welcome to Clay to Canopy, the show where I attempt to make just about everything from the ground up. In this video, I'm going to be making some stools that are inspired by mushrooms that are people/cat hybrid seating arrangements. Basically, what that means is it is going to be, I don't even know what that means. It's a thing that looks like a stool that a person and a cat can chill out on. So, yeah, come on, let's do this. Peanut thrown in this Woodland Feast, I thought it would be cool to throw in some mushroom stools, and I want to keep the color scheme going on. These stools are going to be a green toadstool or green mushroom inspired stool/cat sling. I'm going to have a removable top cat sling type of area that they can sit inside. The top of the mushroom will have a cap that is removable that becomes the cushion that a person can sit on. So it's my people/cat hybrid stool. There are green mushrooms out there in the world. If you don't believe me, Google it, because we all know Google knows everything. She smells fabric. Look at that, she smells fabric. I'm going to be bleaching some of this mushroom to get a kind of ombre feeling and just have the hunter green a little bit around the edge of the mushroom and the top a little bit more, hopefully in a tannish range, depending on how this bleaching goes. I got a couple yards of green cotton fabric. I found these round foam for stools. I was really excited to find a 60% off coupon last month. Foam is always like the expense that you never want to spend. I'm not sure if I'm making 1 or 2 mushrooms. We're going to see how it goes with the fabric. I have enough supplies. I do also have some bleach. I tried to find the strongest possible bleach I could get. I have fairly thick jute rope that will run up the center of my stool for extra cat scratching activity. I picked up toilet flanges, the cheapest flanges I could get, and that's what's stuck onto this pipe. Come on now. Toilet flange. I don't care about the quality for the toilet since we're not using it for the toilet, but this is a 3-inch flange. I also did pick up a piece of pipe. This was one pipe. I think I used the insert of this to hold together the log that I was using as a mold. I do have some ABS glue. ABS glue, which is just the glue that you use to glue together your plastic PVC pipe. This is also only a couple of bucks. And I will be using a little bit of wood to fill out the base and to build the top sling part. I have a couple ideas kicking around in my head about what I'm going to do about the sling. I'm not sure just quite yet. So I think what I'm going to start off with is bleaching some of that fabric. I will need to clear a little black princess out of here so that she will not be around the bleach. And I need to throw on an apron so that I don't bleach my clothing in the process. Okay, let's get going. It's like crazy windy today. I hope that it's not affecting the sound on the cameras. Princessa is in her house. Hi. She hears it when I call her Princessa. She looks. Putting on some chemical gloves. I have put down some plastic. I folded this to where I can get this most squarish looking thing going on. I folded it in half. I'm hoping that the bleach will carry through both layers and I will get a slightly different effect on each layer. I only need the center. I'm going to aim for the middle area. I know this foam is ridiculously, way too, I need to stop saying ridiculous. I keep saying ridiculously lately. It's like my new word. I don't know what's going on with this whole ridiculously word. It's quite ridiculous. Just to give myself somewhere to land, trace this circle here-ish. Sure. Okay. Beaker full of sawdust. I don't want bleach in my eye. That would be really bad. Now I'm just making a mess. I feel like the dye is kind of floating and maybe I need something to pat this color out. blue. Come on now. Digging what's happening here. To add more bleach or to not add more bleach? That is the question. Well, it's lightening. I think it's going to continue to lighten if I leave the bleach in this spot. I think as it dries, it's bleaching. So I'm going to just let it sit and see what happens. If it doesn't lighten anymore, I'm going to wash it out and then come back and try and hit it with some more bleach. I rinsed out the bleach and I threw the fabric into the washing machine on a quick wash. I'm trying to work out an idea in my head about how I'm going to build essentially a basket type of shape for the top of the mushroom, and then I will have another piece that sits on top that's cushioned. I'm going to work out the basket part of it first, and that will be the sling part, so when the cushion part comes off, it will be a concave area that, you know, the cat can sit in. And then you can just put the cushion back on and a person can sit on top. I have my egg shape here, just looking for round things to trace basically. I think this will do for the bottom. And I cut out these two shapes and then go from there. I've come up with this shape for my bracket. I need to cut a whole bunch of these. This is going to sit under here and bolster this up here. And I will have a bunch of those going around the outside edge. That way this area will be nice and free. And this will be attached to the underside, boom, on the pole. So this will give me the sling-ish, sling part of it. I'm probably going to upholster and fabric all of that on the inside. A different fabric than what will be the mushroom toppy thing. I'm going to go ahead and work on cutting up some of these shapes, and I want to make sure that I do a better job than my bit here, because I need at least the first part of that to be square, and well, I actually didn't do too bad. Anyhow, I don't know how many of these I need. I'll probably go with, I don't know, 10 to 13-ish and see where that gets me. And I have some scrap pieces that I'm just going to use to cut these up on. The fabric has dried. Dig in this pattern, and I know it's got a little bit more blue than I had intended, but I'm gonna run with it because I think that it turned out really great. Also, the real, wow, the camera's shaking. Everything is like totally windy. The real mushroom, the green mushroom, is actually a bluish green mushroom, so this will work fine. I'm just hoping that it doesn't throw off my color scheme a little too much, but I think that there's a lot of blue tones in the natural tones of the tree and the graying of that. So I think it'll be okay. I'm going to just fold this up and set it aside. This should be 2 mushrooms. And I'm going to continue making my brackets for the rest of that piece. I do have parts for 2 and I have enough fabric for 2, but I think I need to just stick with making the 1 for now. So I'm going to go ahead and glue up these bits, these pieces onto here. I think the bottom pieces first just to get them fixed, and then I will go about gluing this top. Now these pieces of plywood are fairly thin, so I'm going to be heavily reliant on glue. I'm not going to drive any kind of screws through because they're just way too thin for that. I think what I'll do is mark out some guidelines first. Little bee, you need to go outside where the flowers are. Come on, buddy, you're gonna die in here. You gotta go outside. Princessa. I glued up 2 sets of these. I just did a tester for weight by getting on here and pushing down on it to make sure, because this was a bit thin for my liking, but I think I have enough of these on here to not have to worry about the weight. It's going to be just fine. The one thing I do want to do though is to reinforce these little brackety things that I threw on here. The deal is that when this goes on here and someone sits on top of this, this is going to be force that's going to get driven down against this joint. It could weaken this connection. I have cut up some little square stock, and what I'm going to do with these is glue them in on each side of this. This is all face grain, side grain against this, and I will be meeting that with the same, you know, face grain, side grain of the plywood. This will give me a good hold up against this piece and the bottom piece. Keep this bit wedged in place. And it's just acting as a little bit more of a technical, I'm going to use this term loosely because it's not an actual mechanical joint coming in, but this will at least give it a little bit more stability. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up some more of these little blocks. I just wanted to make sure that they were going to fit. They'll be getting glued in. And here comes all the weekend noise. Not weekend, it's actually Monday. Oh, yep. Might have to do this in stages because of the clamps. Let's see. Well, now this is going to be slow going. I swear I spend most of my time waiting for glue to dry. Waiting on cats and waiting on glue. Story of my life. All my wooden parts are prepped for this mushroom. I have a round that will sit here for the top pillow part. This will sit underneath it as the bit that kind of finishes off the staples from the upholstering of that, and also keeps this locked in place. This is going to sit as the cradle and the cat sling, so I'm going to be doing the most work dealing with the pattern for this. This will become the base little circle for the bottom part. I have parts for 2. I am going to use a plain neutral muslin for the interior part of this. I need to make some patterning, and what I think I want to do is make a fabric ring here, and then I will have a vertical band of fabric going this way, and then another circular, whatever this circle is, piece that will sit in it. It'll make sense in a minute. I'm going to lay out some fabric, trace out those bits, and then I have to pull out that sewing machine and get some stitching done. I will start off by tracing this bottom circle, and I have doubled over the fabric just because I am making 2, so I'm just going to do this 2 at a time. It'll just save me a lot of time and energy later. Alright, so that is my pattern stitch line of where I need to stitch. I should have drawn in the middle. I will do that now. Maybe. Dang it, I should have done this before the ring. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I don't think I've had enough coffee this morning. Here it is. I started drinking these coffee protein shakes, and the coffee protein shakes, they have a whole cup of coffee, so I've gotten used to more coffee in my life, and now until I've had my 2 coffee shakes plus 2 cups of coffee, I'm not fully functioning. Yeah, that's my life now. And here she is. Anytime there's fabric, yep, there you go, my love. Fabric queen, all hail. Okay, and if that is my stitch line, I also need a seam line in the center. Alright, I'm going to transfer pattern markings to this other one. What are you doing? coming. What are you doing? But hello. What are you doing? I got my skirt, for lack of a better word, done up here. I'm gonna be adding in some padding and I'm just gonna staple this around this piece. So these old throw pillows from IKEA, and I was going to throw away when I bought a new couch. I decided just to save them so I could recycle the stuffing. Do. What are you doing? Alright, so this is what it's looking like so far. I think that this is just not enough foam. I ran over to Joann's and I think I spend more time there than I do in my own house sometimes, especially when I'm working on something involving fabric. I bought some more foam. Foam, it seems to be ridiculously expensive. Even before the state of the world, foam was always in this ridiculously expensive place. I'm going to be adding a little bit more foam to this stack. I did get square ones this time. I'm going to hopefully get one of this round size and then hopefully, yes, perfect. So I can stack 3 layers of foam onto this top seat. I also picked up some batting to smooth it all out. I'm probably just gonna throw this on the bandsaw and cut it over there. And then I can get upholstering. So yeah, I'm gonna move on to doing that. Here's the stack that I got going on so far, and I threw the batting over it to see if I can get away with not knocking down these corners, and it's a no-go. I have to knock down these corners. If I don't knock down, my nose is gonna itch. Okay, here we go. Foam. Anytime there's foam, my gosh. I do have to knock down these corners because you can feel the ridges even with the batting. Usually the batting is like the ultimate smoothing out thing, but that's not gonna work. Alright, I'm going to take this outside and spray some spray foam adhesive to the pieces to each other and then to this round. I'm going to just do it over there really quickly so I don't end up getting spray foam stuck to everything in the studio. What did I do with my safety glasses? My head? Nope. Sometimes it's on my head. This is a good time to remind you that tools are dangerous. Power tools are dangerous, people. Do not try these crazy things at home without proper training. This is exactly how they did it in the upholstery factory. No. Why you should have more than a one-day tour of upholstery factory when you are in a furniture program. one a little bit tuftier than the other one. I didn't pull down as much. I don't know, I like having the variation of the two. I think it's gonna work great. So now I'm gonna move on to getting the bleached part of the fabric on. Since it is round, inevitably I am going to deal with some wrinkling, but it is what it is. I shouldn't say wrinkling, but I'm going to deal with a little bit of folding over. So I'm going to try and minimize that as much as possible by just breaking it up evenly. I got my two mushroom tops upholstered and ready to go. Now I'm going to turn my attention to the base. I'm going to be screwing this to this piece of wood, and then this piece is getting screwed to the top. I need to be able to have access to these screws in case there's something that happens and I need to adjust and fix. The underside one, you're not really going to see under the chair, but I should address it anyway because it's me. Alright, so my plan is to use this rope to rope up the pole part, and then I'm going to make a fabric cover circular disc thing that's going to sit on top, and when the screws go in it'll hold the fabric down. I will need a disc for that and a disc for up here, and then this bottom part of the edge will also just get roped. Probably gonna have to stop talking because it is Saturday and I have very small amounts of space where things get like a little bit quiet and then the cameras go on and 2 seconds later there's a bunch of noise. So yeah, we're gonna do what we can do here. What did I do with the marker? I keep like, ooh, every time I stand over this, it's like this echo. Hello! Just realized that maybe I don't want to do this out of this fabric. I'm gonna see if I have some felt. Found some green felt. I'm gonna roll with this. This is just gonna make life so much easier. Woo. I also plugged in the hot glue gun. I feel like I need to have like one of those special chimes for every time the glue gun comes out. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these in. Off. Maybe, maybe not. If this was for plumbing purposes, you probably should clean your pipes fully, but you know, this is an art project. I just fed 2 cute little squirrels and some crows out front, and I can hear the squirrels chasing each other. It's very cute. Yesterday I did not have washers, so I ran out to grab some washers because I need a little bit of a space between where this screw gets put down. It's almost there, but if I plow this whole screw all the way through without the washer, it's gonna go through the bottom of the wood, which I don't want to happen. I could use a shorter screw, but it's kind of this like weird in between because this is a 1-inch screw. The next screw is 3/4 of an inch, and I only have 1/8 of an inch I need to bolster. I'm going to screw this down to this wood first, and then I will begin applying my rope. it is pretty much assembly time. I'm going to add in this extra disc so that I can use a little bit larger of a screw with the top part of this. Now should be able to just drive my 1-inch screws without washers for the top one. So it'll give me a lot more to grip. This upper part is much more important than this bottom base. This is the part that's holding the seat on, and it's where the racking is. This footprint keeps it from tipping over. The person's not gonna fall off of the stool if this pops off. However, if this connection gets jacked up and separates, then yes, you could totally sever that and fall off of the stool. So I'm overkilling this part just to make sure that I get a really good firm hold. And let's get that toothed in there. And she's done. I'm in love with these mushrooms. I think they turned out so great. I had them propped up over there before I had screwed the pieces together and just kind of tested them out. I'm really happy about the way the bleaching worked on this fabric. I gotta put together that last one. All right, y'all, here they are finished. My 2 mushroom stools. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already, and stick around to watch the Woodland Feast come together.